up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Sean Diddy Combs, Mark Garagos might be the reason that maybe you lose this case. And guess what? It's getting so bad, even TMZ is stepping in and being like, whoopsie, Mark, you might want to watch it. Now, listen, if you guys don't know, Justin Combs posted up yesterday, thank you, God, for our daily bread. Basically, juror number 3 not only disappeared, but they're talking directly to TMZ saying they never, ever wanted to testify. They don't even know what this is about. Now, some of us might roll our eyes, but don't forget, Diddy only needs one person on that jury to set him free. Mark Garagos is also running a little PR campaign on his podcast with Harvey Levin, the owner and operator of TMZ. They bought in a legal expert, but legal experts are now warning Diddy, you are playing too fast and too loose with the letter of the law. Bro, you need to calm down. Why is that? Quite simply, this. You're playing too late, and you might actually torpedo Diddy's chances of growing free and also of the appeal. This is directly in TMZ. They said Mark Garagos may not like that Diddy's lawyers are subject to a gag order. Okay? And they're now saying that Mark Garagos is also subject to it. But the prominent prosecutor from LA says prosecutors needed to avoid a possible appeal. Christian Brown Neal, a deputy district attorney for LA County, spoke with TMZ Live about Judge Aaron Subramanian's warning that Mark Garagos to keep in line and that he was going to watch his podcast, Two Angry Men. When asked about Garagos citing a Supreme Court ruling saying defendants and their attorneys have the right to speak publicly about the case, the legal expert Christian said she thinks that Garagos is taking a very narrow look at the ruling. I'm going to play this for you in a second, but let me just explain what she said, because I think it's very, very important. She says that even Harvey needs to watch what he says on the podcast too, or he and Garagos might end up being used as grounds for appeal in the case. As for whether it should be up to the defense to decide if they're talking too much to the public and potentially poisoning their cases, Kristen says it's actually unfair to the prosecutors because someone like Mark Garagos could end up sabotaging his own client on accident. The way Kristen Neal Brown explains it, if Mark Garagos is some sort of unofficial member of Diddy's legal team, something he's kept mum on so far, then by speaking out and biasing the jury in some way, he himself could be used in an ineffectiveness of counsel appeal. So if the prosecutors are able to secure a conviction, they don't want Mark Garagos talking because Diddy's side could try to use something like that to appeal decisions. She said that prosecutors can't just secure a conviction, they have to protect it once they get it too. Now, you guys, she brings up a very good point, and I think Diddy is crossing his I's and crossing his T's. Again, remember when I said that the judge told Mark Garagos to stop? Because it's not just about tainting the jury. If for some reason Mark Garagos says something and Diddy's team can show that it biased his conviction in a bad way, they could appeal on ineffectiveness of counsel and get a whole new legal team, even though Mark Garagos is the one that Diddy is paying to do this. Do you see how this is all coming together? Diddy is diabolical. He is making a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D. Because at the end of the day, even if the prosecutors get the conviction, Diddy wants, Diddy wants a self-eject button. Diddy wants a way to get out of the consequences of his actions. And he's hoping that Mark Garagos can run all those points. He can fade up with the jury and put stuff out on the podcast and poison the well. He can be the talking point of whenever Cassie or somebody is on the stand, he says the most disgusting, misogynist things that go viral because Harvey, who is Mark Garagos' co-host and good friend on the podcast, they will make it go viral. He can strategically leak information because he somehow thinks he found a way around the gag order. And even if at the very worst, Mark does something, if Diddy can prove that it influenced the trial in any way, How would he prove that? Oh, Mark says something, it goes viral. Mark says something, hands it to his good friend Harvey from TMZ. Harvey from TMZ makes it go viral, and then Diddy will turn around and point to that and say, like, see? That's why I was convicted. This was in every major newspaper, every major media. It was all a lie. That's why I was convicted. And then he turns around and he gets a new trial. This won't be embarrassing to Mark Garagos, because Mark Garagos will do anything he needs to do to get his client justice, and other clients will take note. I think Judge Aaron, of course, he's a younger judge. Nobody can be dumb being a judge. He is very, very vetted. But I think that the Southern District of New York might need to sharpen up their PR and media stuff, because even though they've gone against Harvey Weinstein, even though they've gone against El Chapo, even though they've gone against Jeffrey Epelator, at the end of the day, they've never gone up against somebody as savvy, low down, conniving, and plotting as Sean Diddy Combs. And this includes his legal counsel that is literally setting up his get out of jail free cards as we speak. Again, the rabbit hole, in our opinion, goes very deep. Anyway, the expert also talks about how prosecutors are representing the public, so the public has the right to hear them discuss the case when they can. So this is Harvey being like, what about what Mark said about it goes one way? No. Diddy's team is acting like they're the only ones that matter. Prosecutors are representing us. They're representing our interests. They're representing someone they have identified as a menace to society and that they need to get off the street. It doesn't matter whether somebody enjoys being treated like a rag doll. You cannot treat other people. You are a menace. We cannot have sex traffickers and abusers just walking around freely. And if you feel some type of way about that, ask yourself why you feel some type of way. Actually, don't, because I already know. We know why you feel some type of way. In any case, also, the fact that they are trying to convince us that only the accused guilty can speak and the prosecution, who are representing the people, must be made quiet. No, you're representing the people. We want to hear what the people have to say. Anyway, now listen, prosecutors also, as you guys know, sent a letter to the judge about Mark Garagos, an old white man, referring to them as a six-pack of white women. Again, you're trying to feed into misogyny, but it's so racist, because that's the way you think that black men and women refer to prosecutors, as a six-pack of white women. It's just so asinine, and it plays into people's very bottom-feeding thoughts and emotions, and that's who Diddy is. And I realize everybody that supports him, I feel the same way about, right? Mark Garagos said, I'm going to be watching and I'm going to be listening, all right? The judge said to Mark Garagos, I'm going to be watching and I'm going to be listening, all right? You have one more listener on your podcast. Then Mark Garagos had the nerve to get cute in front of the judge and said, that's fine, as long as you press subscribe. Judge Aaron was like, I got you, subscribe. Anyway, right? The 3 days of jury selection are over, as you guys know. The 45-member jury pool has now been selected. While there's no court today, tomorrow, it'll be whittled down to 12 jurors and 6 alternates. The trial is moving along with opening arguments to begin next week. Just don't expect to hear the defense talk about it. Again, I do truly believe that Diddy actually is hoping that if their defense doesn't go well, Mark Garagos can poison the well and say something that Harvey from TMZ will help it go viral, and then Diddy can use that as an excuse for what's going on in his trial. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.